Hello everybody, welcome to a glorious sunny Saturday afternoon here at the Red Bull Ring. Race one of the weekend for the ADAC TCR Germany. It is a 14 race season as we look there at our pole sitter Jessica Bachmann. She's having a good year. The first time a Veloster had ever won a race at Oschersleben last time out, and now she is on pole position for this, the first of two races this weekend. Simon Ladniak lines up second in the Liquimoli Team Engstler Honda Civic. What's that I hear you say? Not a Hyundai. Yes, Engstler have swapped to Honda, and they are proving to be very successful indeed. None more so than that man there, Martin Andersson, who currently leads the point standings after a win and a second place at Oschersleben last time out. He has qualified third on the grid. Robin Yar in the Hyundai Veloster lines up fourth on the grid. The next car, Vincent Rademacher, we will see shortly, but just to tell you that Jonas Karklees was the driver who did actually score pole position for this race. He starts stone last on the grid, courtesy of the fact they had a last-minute engine change in his car. So Jonas Karklees in the Hyundai, a last-minute engine change, meaning that his pole position is converted into last place on the grid, which is a real shame for Jonas because it was his first pole position initially. He got a third and a second place at Oschersleben last time out. We'll see what he can do from the back of the grid. It's not a massive grid, so he should be able to come through and score some points from there. Of course, Jessica Bachmann has already scored 10 points courtesy of that pole position. Let's have a look at the grid properly. Jessica Bachmann for Rocker Motorsport alongside Simon Ladniak. Martin Andersson, championship leader with Robin Yar, another Rocker Motorsport car on row 2 of the grid. The third row, Vincent Rademacher for Mora Motorsport and Max Grun from Grun Stablau Racing. And row 4 of the grid, Patrick Singh, we saw a lot of him last year. Also Rogan Hertner, another Liquimoli Team Engstler cars. Row 5 of the grid, Kai Rosowski making his debut in TCR Racing in the ADAC TCR Germany with Mora alongside, and then Rene Kirscher and Jonas Karklees bringing up the rear of the pack. We are at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. It has been a glorious sunny day after a night of thunderstorms, so we're all a little bit tired and grumpy today, but the sun is now shining again, so we're happy again. This circuit, which is 4.318 kilometers around, it has 10 turns, 7 of them to the right and 3 of them to the left. You can see the championship standings there. Martin Andersson leading Jonas Karklees by 10 points, and Jessica Bachmann just 18 points adrift in third place. And she has earned points as a result of that pole position that she has starting from this track. Lots of elevation change, 65 metres of elevation change, maximum incline of 12%, a maximum decline of 9.3%. It is a wonderful circuit, and it's great to be here, isn't it, David Anderson?
Absolutely it is, and it's a shame in a sense that it's a modest grid for TCR Germany because it had some very, very good grids over the years and good racing, but evenly matched cars. So I think we are in for a good race, and actually watching Jonas Karklees, who, as you've been making the point, was quick, is having to come up from the back of the grid is going to be really interesting in this. How quickly can he get through the traffic? Is this engine as good as the old one? Their mainstay of the British Touring Car Championship in the final days of the Super Touring era, Vincent Rademacher, the Belgian driver who for a time, remember, was part of the Works Vauxhall squad, also raced in British Formula 3. Very experienced driver is Vincent Rademacher. And Jessica Bachmann having had a win at Oschersleben, the other win there, Martin Andersson, who will line up third on this 1x1 Saga grid. So yeah, 30 minutes of racing should be very good indeed. And watching Karklees make progress in the Hyundai, he's going to be the main story.
So we're on the formation lap at the moment. The car's just getting heat into the tyres. The track, well, it was a nice clean track, but then we had GT4, GT2 and GT Masters. So the tracks had to have a bit of sweeping after all that lot. At a turn 10 we come, and towards the start line it is, of course, a standing start for the ADAC TCR Germany. Thoroughly entertaining series, kept us entertaining over the last few years. We have no defending champion because Luca Engstler has moved into GT Masters, and Martin Anderson very much the man to beat, and Jessica Bachmann very much the lady to beat, and the two of them starting at the front of the pack. So taking their positions, you can see from that camera angle how steep the climb is towards turn 1. I don't think I actually realised how steep it was till I actually climbed it myself. Even steeper into turn 3.
It certainly likes going uphill, this circuit, and the relief to everybody if you're on foot certainly is downhill. And from a standing start, that gruelling climb is about to beckon for them.
That's what happens when you build a race circuit in the mountains. We have clearance from the back of the grid. We will wait for those 5 red lights to go off. The revs rise, the cars are moving. It's a dreadful start for Martin Anderson. The car's very slow out of the blocks, which can't be said for Jessica Bachmann, who leads into turn 1 already by some considerable distance. And look at this, Jonas Karklees, he's almost into a podium position already, and they're just into turn 1. Phenomenal stuff. Around turn 1 they come, and down towards turn 2. It is a turn, but they don't really lift off for it, and it's flat out towards turn 3. It's Jessica Bachmann who's leading the way. Simon Ladniak in P2, then Robin Yar. Martin Anderson had a dreadful getaway.
And so also did Michael Maurer, who dropped back as well. He's on the penultimate row, but he struggled off the line. So yes, Jessica Bachmann now needing to try and build this lead before Jonas Karklees gets up with her. Of course, 30 minutes means he's got the time in which to do that. So down they come towards turn 4, but Jessica Bachmann then it is in the lead of the race. Ladniak runs second, and then Robin Yar third as the cars come through turn 4. There is Vincent Rademacher, who is another driver that needs to try and be on his toes because he's gone backwards off the start as well, hasn't he?
So a lot of drivers not getting away in the way that they would like to have done. I don't think there's anything on the track. It is just not getting out of the blocks. We ride on board with Martin Anderson, and he can see the cars in front. He's running for Team Engstler this year, and this is very much the year that he is the favourite for the championship. But he's got a bit of work to do in this race if he wants to get onto the top step of the podium.
Jessica Bachmann, race leader, under investigation for a jump start. So some people couldn't get off the line. She got off the line too well. And if there is a penalty coming, that's another big help to the likes of Ladniak or Anderson, and particularly to Jonas Karklees, who is about to break the beam at the end of lap 1 in 6th place, having started in 12th. So he's overtaken half the field in a lap. That ain't bad going.
Brilliant stuff from Jonas Karklees. We said we were looking forward to seeing this, and he is certainly doing that. Let's have a look here. The lights go off, and she is a little bit prompt there, isn't she? And
only just, but yes.
It's tight, and the problem is that the only, well, they could add a time to the end of it, but a drive-through or something like that would destroy her race and put her to the very back of the pack. So it'll be interesting to see what the stewards decide.
Do they have the penalty lap situation in this? As you see, Karklees there dodged past Michael Maurer. I said he was away slowly, and he was. And there's Vincent Rademacher, his teammate, and he was away slowly. So Karklees just has the road opening up to him. There you go. Tick, tick, tick. More pace gained. Runs it a little bit wide out of turn 1, but that was some start.
Fantastic stuff. So Jonas Karklees currently in P6. We'll keep an eye on that as we look at the number 8 car of René Kirscher. He's another one who had a poor qualifying session and passed Kay Rosowski in the number 38 car. So a 5-second time penalty. So I did wonder if it would be an additional time. So 5 seconds to be added to the race time for Jessica Bachmann, so she will need to finish at least 5 seconds ahead of second place if she were to win this race.
Indeed so. Well, at the end of lap 1 it was 6/10. The margin over Simon Ladniak, oops, out and back there goes one of the Hondas. The margin this time over Ladniak, we'll see, because they've just broken the beam at the timing line, 8/10. So she's getting away, but not certainly by 5 seconds. If the penalty were to be applied now, she'd be ending up 7th. Yeah. And Jonas Karklees, therefore, 5th on the road now. Just got ahead of Patrick Singh, but will be elevated to 4th once her penalty is applied.
So Jonas Karklees is the man on the move. Patrick Singh trying to get back past him, but Jonas Karklees definitely the man on form. Having said that, Patrick Singh looks to the outside into turn 3, but there's nothing going on there. He drops back behind. Jonas Karklees now homing in on championship leader Martin Andersson. Now this really will be interesting. Martin Andersson in the Honda, Karklis in the Hyundai.
If you believe in these patterns, bear in mind that in the first race of the year at Ottersleben, Jonas Karklis was third. In the second race, he was second. So there should be a win here. He might do it on the track. It might have to be on corrected times. But right now, he is taking the fight to Martin Andersson, who had a second and a win.
Martin Andersson, well, anything less than second place is going to feel like a failure to him, and he will be looking at the Hyundai in his rearview mirrors. Of course, he was driving the Hyundai i30 last year, and Hyundai Team Engsler have become Liqui Team Engsler over the winter months and have changed from Hyundai to Honda. Still getting to grips with that car, I think. Jonas Karklis Hyundai looks to be the more rapid of the two. Martin Andersson dropping back from Robin Yart, who is also in a Hyundai.
Right, so Karklis then up over the timing line. Bear in mind the Red Bull Ring is yet another circuit where the start and finish lines are in different places, and so now the cars make that climb up towards turn one. Jessica Bachmann is now 1.2 seconds ahead of Simon Ladniak, as there Vincent Rademacher is under attack from René Kircher. Karklis then is 4 tenths back from Martin Andersson, but would of course gain a place with the corrected time to Jessica Bachmann if things stayed as they were. But as I say, Bachmann is getting away up the road. She's done the fastest lap as well.
I think Roland Lerner in the background was the one that's doing a little bit of sliding in the other of the Hondas as René Kircher moves past Vincent Rademacher. So René Kircher moving forwards, a driver who has just got better and better as each season has progressed in the ADAC TCR Germany. Rademacher in the Holden, not Nopal or Vauxhall, it is in fact a Holden, who attempts to fight back against René Kircher, but that car is going forwards.
Yeah, and Rademacher, I think, has a problem because after a slow start, he's been losing places. So he's fallen from 5th on the grid, now down to 9th. And if you're wondering why it's a Holden, it's because that is the brand as which it's homologated, because TCR Australia is very popular these days. So the Astra is built really for that market, but it's homologated as a Holden, and it's not an interchangeable homologation paper like you used to have in the old days for cars, depending on what brand you wanted. So on board with Karklis over the brow down towards turn 9, and he's hunting down Martin Andersson. He was behind him last time, 4 tenths of a second, and on this lap he was slightly slower in the middle sector, slightly quicker in the first.
So there's the car, most of the field all in one straight. Jessica Bachmann doing what she needs to do at the front, but of course she has to be careful, because if she takes too much out of the tyres, it's not going to get to the end. So 1.4 seconds over second place. If she can stretch that at this rate over Simon Ladniak, then she will keep the win if she crosses the line first. She needs to be at least 5 seconds ahead. There's Ladniak in second, Robin Yart in third. Martin Andersson not making the sort of progress that we would expect, and Jonas Karklis now, you don't need a stopwatch to see how close he is. He's almost pushing Martin Andersson around the corner. Jonas Karklis in P5, Martin Andersson looking like easy prey in front of him.
Indeed so, as they come now side by side down the hill here.
And that is Patrick Singh in P7. That's Kai Rosowski who is challenging him. So the number 13 car of Max Grun, not Kai Rosowski. So another of the Audis. It's Max Grun who and competing with Patrick Singh
round the outside, and easily round the outside. Singh off song to a degree here, but he fights back on the inside line, heading now down towards turn 7. But the fact that Patrick Singh has lost quite a lot of time does suggest that all might not be totally well with that car. But yeah, Max Grun crawling all over the back of him in the relatively elderly now Audi S3. That's a shape that's graced TCR grids for quite some time. But Philip Singh just fending him off at the moment as they come out of turn 9, but he goes wide over the curve. There's a gap on the inside. Is there at 10? No, not quite. Cuts across in the nick of time.
Down to the home straight, we look along past the pits, comes our race leader Jessica Bachmann. The gap 1.3 seconds from Simon Ladniak, so not making the kind of progress she wants to. Robin Yart still in third, Martin Andersson. Jonas Karklis pressuring Andersson in front of him.
Yeah, but Karklis has now got stuck, hasn't he? Because he's caught Andersson, but he can't find a way past him. He's half a second back. There he is, Jonas Karklis making his way up the hill in the Duto Racing Hyundai i30N, but finding that last half a second and getting up past Martin Anderson, who's a very experienced driver himself, isn't very easy. And Grun goes wide there, coming out of turn 3.
So Max Grun just getting it wrong, under braking, and goes wide, and that just opens up a bit of a gap. That gives a bit of relief to the cars in front. So Grun's got to do all that hard work again as he closes in on Patrick Singh. Patrick Singh just keeping it together on that corner while the person behind it didn't. There's Jonas Karklees. He's back with Martin Anderson. He has been closer than that, but is he biding his time, or has he reached an object that is proving to be a little bit more troublesome to pass? The team Nordpass Hyundai, as we look again at Simon Ladniak on a replay, and
with the petrol cap open.
Oh yeah, so that's unusual. So the petrol cap open, I don't think that's anything that'll force him to revisit the pits, but Ladniak's team forgetting to close the petrol cap on the way out from the garage. Is that Jonas Karklees going out wide out of turn 10? You saw the dirt being kicked up into the air as the Hyundai ran wide. There is a bollard, at least there was last time I looked, on the exit of turn 10. So many people have hit that today. I mean, they're probably running out of bollards, but the cars need to stay on the left-hand side of it as we look down towards that corner. If they go to the right-hand side, they're going to get done for track limits.
Karklees dropping back a little bit from Anderson, but now second and third is the big battle, isn't it? As you've been saying, Ladniak versus Yar here. So they're still with the fuel cap flapping, which suggests that Ladniak needs to come back in to get his loyalty card stamped soon after his last refill. He's keeping Robin Yar behind him, and then Martin Anderson just about fending off the challenge of Jonas Karklees, that for the moment has rather plateaued here. Jessica Backman, interesting up front because she cannot stretch that gap. Even though Ladniak now is having to go defensive from Robin Yar, she is not being able to significantly build the margin. 1.3 seconds last time, but Yar does look the faster of the two now, so he needs to get on with this and try and get up and past Ladniak to have any chance of catching Jessica Backman before the end. 1/3 race distance done now.
So if the race finished now, Jessica Backman would be in P5, so she's not nearly got enough of a gap. Roland Hurton and Vincent Rademacher almost getting together. There's dust up in front as well. Somebody's had a bit of an adventure on the corner ahead of them, but Vincent Rademacher still in front of Roland Hurton.
Yeah, lost the place, got it back again, but clearly all is not well for Rademacher, as I was saying earlier on, and especially given his experience. He qualified 5th, and he's very, very nearly last.
Is he smoking? There's a lot of smoke
coming
from the car,
right.
and you said you think he's got a problem. Well, I think that problem is coming to a head, because now a lot of blue smoke coming. There's the bollard in the middle of the track, by the way. Heading up towards turn 1, there's a fog descending on the Red Bull ring, and it's coming from the car of Vincent Rademacher.
Although perversely, even though the car might not be as he wants it, far from it, he did at least retake the place, as you were seeing, from Roland Hurtner. So in context, it's got some pace, but just not enough. So Rademacher versus Hurtner, 9th and 10th. Now here, you've got the fight going on between the Honda and the Hyundai. Down towards turn 4 they come. The Hyundai in that now traditional mauve, the indigo livery, that's the works colour scheme. But for second and third, Ladniak versus Yar. For 4th place, Anderson keeping Karklees at bay, but only just. And Ladniak also now feeling the pressure.
And all of this with Ladniak looking more in his mirrors than the car in front has allowed Jessica Backman to open up a bit of a lead. 1.965 the last time across the line. So suddenly Backman is able to pull ahead a little bit, because Ladniak has got Robin Yar for company, and Yar is putting the pressure on. Martin Anderson uncharacteristically hauled up in P4. Jonas Karklees still in P5. Is this as far as Karklees is able to go?
Well, and Anderson the same. You know, you would have thought that given his pace at Ossersleben and the fact that he qualified 3rd, Martin Anderson might be able to do something about Ladniak and Yar here. Now, it could be that they're thinking about tyre management for the second part of the race, because we're almost now nudging half distance. But Jessica Backman's advantage is growing. It's now 2 seconds. It's taken 8 laps to get it to that point, but it is growing. Ladniak to Yar is 7/10, but then a further 1.3 seconds back is Martin Anderson, and Jonas Karklees is in touch with him. But yeah, all the drama that we had in the early laps has calmed down a little bit, certainly as far as Karklees is concerned. And like I said a couple of 3 laps ago, he's got a bit stuck now on pace behind Anderson.
The tyres in TCR Germany are a new learning experience as Jonas Karkli sees a gap on the inside of Martin Anderson. Well, he practically gift wrapped that, but now he's coming back because Karklis goes wide out of turn 3. Now it's a drag race. Along they go towards turn 4. Jonas Karklis, this is the view. Martin Anderson, I do believe, is just at the side. You can see him just glancing off to the side. Jonas Karklis alongside him, but Anderson holds on to that position. I thought Karklis had got it.
Well, he tries to get the undercut there, but it's to no avail. Now he needs to try and line the car out for the dive downhill. Can he get the inside line coming down towards turn 6? He's going to think about it. He's going to think about it. He's going to try. No. Gets a face full of Honda. The Civic defends. So just where he didn't want it, the Civic fills his windscreen. That was a kind of Civic reception for him, but he drops down towards turn 7, still stuck behind Martin Anderson, and the championship leader is not giving this up without a fight.
He really isn't, and isn't it great to see the eyes darting to the side as he is challenged. You see him looking at Karklis in his side mirror. Wonderful stuff.
But that's good racecraft by Anderson, because he knew exactly that if he gave that opportunity to Karklis, he'd come in so rapidly that he couldn't make the corner and he'd be able to get him back. So he sees him coming. Look, he gives him the room, brakes hard, lets Karklis go exploring on the outside, and Martin Anderson says, "Thank you very much. Look, I've got all of this track. It's mine, I've got the place back again." And through he goes, back up into 4th.
Brilliant. Well, this is an education in motor racing here from Martin Anderson. Great stuff. A mature drive, because many a person would just be nailing it in any way they can. There's the replay of Anderson getting that position back. Before Jonas Karklis rudely interrupted me, I was about to say that tyres are a big issue this year, because TCR Germany has a new exclusive partner in Hankook tyres. So it's a bit of a steep learning curve for a number of these teams as they get used to these new Hankook tyres. We've also got new fuel this year, a new innovative fuel. It's called Shell Blue Gasoline 98 GT Masters. Just to give you the full title, it consists of approximately 50% renewable components, and it's been developed by Shell exclusively for the ADAC. So lots of new innovations in TCR Germany,
which is good to see, as is the quality of racing in this TCR Championship. It might be a smaller grid, as we were saying this year, but as you can see, the quality of racing is as good as ever. Jessica Backman up front, by the way, is edging rather than pulling. 2.6 seconds now is the margin over Simon Ladniak. Robin Jahr is still there in 3rd place. 4th, Martin Anderson, and Jonas Karklis hard at work, exploring every bit of curbing, every little element that might gain him a fraction of a second. There he is, hard at work, comes onto the pit straight, setting sun in his eyes as well now as he makes the climb up the hill. Just positions the car more in the middle of the road there. He's not close enough to think about a move, but what that might serve to do, as Martin Anderson looks in his mirror, is just unsettle him. Why is he there? Well, it doesn't unsettle him. He does hang on to his 4th place, and Jonas Karklis was 0.4 of a second adrift when they crossed the beam.
One of the issues of having a late afternoon race has been sunshine in the eyes. We've had it in the past, and you mentioned it already. It's an early evening race, really, and heading down the pit straight, you do get the sun in your eyes, and it does make quite a difference when you're looking through these perspex, plastic, whatever they're made of, but these screens are not great when you are driving into the sun. Here's Rene Kirscher and Patrick Sin. Rene Kirscher looking for 6th place. It's Hyundai versus Hyundai. Rene Kirscher challenging hard, but not finding a route past yet. Jonas Karklis, he's dropped back from Martin Anderson, so is he just winding himself up for another attack, or has he taken too much out of those tyres?
Philip Singh not getting away, is he, from the chasing Rene Kirscher there? So the two of them together, it's a duet for Singh now, comes towards turn 7. The margin at the start of the lap, 0.3 of a second. And you can see the relative best lap time. Singh still the quicker of the two, but trying to shake off Kirscher right now.
Rene Kirscher, a hard man to shake off at the best of times. He's currently 4th in the Drivers' Championship and looking to improve on that. He's been there or thereabouts for the last couple of years, but just gets better and better as each year passes. Qualified a lot further down than he would have liked, but now working his way forwards. Patrick Singh is going to be preoccupied with that Rene Kirscher car for some time as they head up towards turn 1.
Nose to tail they run, as we now are very much not only into the second half, but nearly the final third of the race. 11.5 minutes are on the clock. The lead gap is 3 seconds. Now, the way that Jessica Bachmann is putting this together, and she's got 11 minutes and change on the clock, overcoming that 5-second penalty is a lot more likely now than it was a few laps back.
And even with a 5-second penalty, she would end up on the podium as we finally say goodbye to the Vincent Rademacher car. It had been smoking for some time, and it looks like whatever was putting out that blue smoke has either run out of blue smoke or broken or something, but he pulls it up onto the infield and his afternoon is over.
Absolutely right. So Rademacher is out. Clearly the car's been troubled all race, because we've repeatedly made the point about the lack of pace out of it, never mind the smoke. But Vincent Rademacher steps from the car. The Maurer Motorsport GmbH entry slams the door in time-honoured fashion.
You don't need any words to understand what was going on there. His body language says it all.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes, it's not what you come here and you test for 2 days and qualify and end up with that. That's motor racing, but it's not what he was hoping for when he came here this weekend. He gets to do it all again tomorrow, assuming the car is repairable. Meanwhile, Jessica Bachmann in the Veloster crosses the line again. Now it was 3.012 last time over second place. What's it going to be this time to Simon Ladniak? 4 seconds. So keep doing what you're doing, Jessica, because 1 more second and you will have this one in the bag.
It's nearly there, isn't it? Nearly there. So we have Jessica Bachmann 4 seconds to the good. As long as you ain't got a safety car now for any purpose, then she's okay, but makes the climb up the hill. And this is turn 3. The right-hander behind is Simon Ladniak, who was very definitely shaken off Robin Jahr. Remember how close they were 2 or 3 laps ago. Now they're together, and Jahr is being caught by Anderson, who is taking Karklees with him. It feels a bit of a shame for Jonas Karklees, because he did 6 places in a lap, and then he's only gained 1 more in the remainder of the race. It just doesn't seem to compute.
Come on, Jonas, what's going on here? He says, if you think so easy, you come and do it. We're looking at Martin Anderson, a great shot as he continues to look in his mirrors at Jonas Karklees, who's just nibbling away. But Martin Anderson keeping his cool, not making stupid mistakes, driving very maturely. He is the championship leader. A P4, well, it's not quite what he was hoping for, but it's a good haul of points all the same. A P4 would get him 5 points onto his tally. And winning a championship is about consistently scoring points and consistently not ending up in the gravel trap or involved in silly little incidents. Jessica Bachmann continues on her way. She's around turn 9, round to turn 10. It was 4.012 last time around. So here she comes across the start-finish line. We'll see what the gap is. 4.012 last time at the start-finish, 4.786. So she has got a little under 8.5 minutes to find about half a second just to make it really secure, and the win will be hers. I'm sure the team have been on the blower saying, Jessica, you need a 5-second cushion.
Yeah, the 2 different types of Hyundai. She's got the Veloster, as you say. There's still the older i30N on the grid as Jonas Karklees here hustles on. Karklees is one of those i30N drivers, and look how much closer now to the back of Robin Jahr with his Veloster is Martin Anderson in the Team Enschler Honda Civic right now. Almost nose to tail coming out of turn 3 over the brow. And there is Jonas Karklees in 4th place. And actually, the Singh-Kircher battle is not that far behind them. They've, despite having had a good fight, they've not really lost a huge amount of time to Jonas Karklees.
Yeah, it all seems to have compressed a little bit, doesn't it? And there is a podium at stake here. Robin Jahr has it at the moment, but we only need one little raveller. And René Kircher could be up there at this rate because they are all compressing. Jonas Karklees is in the middle of that pack. Robin Jahr at the front. Martin Anderson suddenly looking very racy again. There's a lovely view of the lawn. And we now carry on with Martin Anderson looking at Robin Jahr in front. Now Robin Jahr, can he hold off Martin Anderson? The Team Enschler Honda has suddenly found a little bit of pace. They head down towards turn 9 and around to turn 10. So Robin Jahr, the last of the podium places. Martin Anderson in P4. Ahead of them is Simon Ladniak in a fairly solid second. And Jessica Bachmann well ahead. What is the gap for Jessica Bachmann? 4.8, so still not a win.
Not quite. Does Robin Yard's car start to look a bit understeery, or is it my aged eyes? It just looked at one or two parts of that last lap as though it was more of a handful than it had been. And certainly now, it might be because of the way he's having to hustle it along, but certainly now Martin Andersson is on the back of Robin Yard, and Jonas Karklis is there as well. So there is the rather dominant Jessica Backman. She's doing a very, very good job of overcoming that penalty, and she should do it this time with Szymon Ladniak in second spot, and he's lost a little bit more time in the first sector, so he's unable to do anything about her. But again, you talk about the team being on the blower to Jessica Backman to talk about the gap. Hopefully, so also is the team to Ladniak, because if Franz Enschler and his merry men are on their toes, they should be saying push, 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 because the win is yours. For the sake of a couple of tenths, you know, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. Look at this, Yar versus Anderson. Robin Yar now under real attack, and this could play into the hands of Karklis.
So we've got a little over 5 minutes of this race remaining, and suddenly Martin Andersson is right there on the tail. And as you've already mentioned, Jonas Karklis poised and ready, and that is a mistake there. The back marking car getting in the way, almost a collision for Robin Yard. The back marking car going quite significantly off the pace of Mora, and it caught him a little bit unaware. He swerved out of the way and avoided a nasty collision. He continues, and still Anderson behind, despite that moment with the back marker. Anderson is unable to get past. Let's have a look at the gap as they cross. This is it again. You can see him ducking to the side. The car just came out of nowhere. Right, the news is Jessica Backman has gone over the 5-second mark, 5.431. That was an epic lap from her. So, with less than 5 minutes remaining, Jessica Backman, who is carrying a 5-second time penalty for a jump start, leads the way, and if she can maintain this gap over Szymon Ladniak, she will win this race.
And she's going exactly the right way about it, as here now 4th, 5th and 6th are together, because Karklis is under attack from Singh all of a sudden. So now look, Yar has managed to scarp her. Anderson is under attack from Karklis, who's got Singh in his ears, and then you've got René Kircher behind him. So Karklis now having to work very, very hard indeed to protect a place rather than thinking about getting another one.
I don't know where Patrick Singh came from, but I'm wondering if Martin Anderson lost a bit of pace all of a sudden, and the car smoking into the corner of Robin Yar. So he's also looking in his mirrors. Here's Jonas Karklis. I did not expect to see him getting passed by Patrick Singh, but Singh is through. Well, he was through on the inside. Karklis is coming back at him, and suddenly the fight for 5th place has hotted up. Singh coming back through, and Patrick Singh taking the position away. That's P5 from Jonas Karklis.
Singh's car has suddenly got a whole new lease of life, hasn't it? Maybe it was tyre preservation earlier on, but it's got something now that Karklis does not. So Patrick Singh up into 5th place. So Jonas Karklis 6 up, another one up, and then 1 down. So again, it does seem very unfair, but he might now have to work hard to preserve even 6th against René Kircher. This was how we lost the place. Look, because Singh got out the inside. There was no contact, but Karklis was run out wide over the curb, through the gravel. Momentum lost easily through Patrick Singh.
Well, that explains why he dropped back so much.
Yeah.
And the question is whether he can come back at Patrick Singh. We look again at that replay as he does a little bit of rallycross on the exit of the corner. But Patrick Singh, and that's well, he just kept it going, and that explains why René Kircher is now right on the back bumper of Jonas Karklis. So, Jonas Karklis coming back again. Just as I took a deep breath, Jonas Karklis is back again. He's like, okay, watch this. So, Karklis is back past Singh. Now René Kircher is getting involved. You don't need a massive field of cars in great racing. ADAC TCR Germany is providing it. Patrick Singh looks to the outside of Jonas Karklis. Karklis hasn't covered off, but look in front. Martin Anderson and Robin Yar. Anderson looking for a podium position.
Which way to look now? Because there's a fight going on for 3rd, there's a fight going on for 5th. Martin Anderson can't quite get up the inside of the Veloster coming out of turn 6. Downhill they plunge. He's quicker coming off the corner. Is there going to be a gap at the bottom of the hill? He thinks about it. He tries to unsettle Robin Yar, who sponge-like soaks up the pressure for another couple of corners. Goes through the left, goes through to the right. Look at Jonas Karklis fending off Singh, fending off Kircher. They're all being caught by Max Grun. Look who is next in the queue. So you've got half the field running together in this battle pack. And Robin Yar, somehow, cork in the bottle style, is not being dislodged. Into turn 10 he comes. There's time for 2 more laps for the race leader, Jessica Batman. They get wider and wider and wider in the background. Martin Andersson on board now, over the line, 2 to go.
Yeah, Jessica Batman has opened up a 6.1 second lead at the front, so that lead is secure. She can maintain that gap. Simon Ladniak in a solid 2nd place. Robin Yar in 3rd place. Martin Andersson still monstering him all the way. Jonas Karklis has dropped back. Patrick Singh in there as well. Rene Kircher and Max Grun rushing to join the party. Roland Hurtner is some 11 seconds further back down the road, as is Kai Rosowski, quite a long way back. But this is the view from Jonas Karklis in P5, moving forwards once again. Can he do anything about Martin Andersson with a little over a minute of this race remaining?
So 1 more lap at the end of this. Big flash of the lights from Martin Andersson. As there also, look, Kircher versus Grun is about to change. Is it? Grun is ahead. Kircher's got the inside line. Takes a big bite of curb, runs Grun out wide over the curb, over the gravel, over the grass and back onto the circuit.
Just keep your foot buried on it. That's the way to do it. Max Grun in P8. He brushes over the top of the gravel trap, but just keeps it going. But he's lost a lot of ground to Rene Kircher. Rene Kircher and all of that has dropped back from Patrick Singh as well. And looking at a replay, and you can see that Rene Kircher just giving him the squeeze on the exit of the corner. Grun keeps his foot buried in it, but loses a load of time and a lot of dirt on the tyres as well. Jessica Batman coming round across the line to complete another lap. Let's have a look at the gap, 7.5 seconds, so she's got a 2.5 in reserve. The clock is about to strike 0, and we are getting ready for Jessica Batman to win this first race of the weekend for the ADAC TCR Germany.
Martin Andersson is about to have another go here. Look at the Robin Yar Hyundai to the outside, coming off turn 1. This is Jonas Karklis' view, thinking, right, come on, tangle. I might get a place, might get 2 out of all of this. Side by side, Yar on the inside line for turn 3. Martin Andersson tries to level with him, but the Hyundai Veloster is a little bit quicker in a straight line. Andersson breaks late on the outside line. He needs the undercut. He's not going to get it. He gets run out wide, and Karklis is back at the races.
Brilliant stuff from Jonas Karklis, trying to get involved there as well, but ahead of him, Martin Andersson, Robin Yar, now Karklis comes back, and Patrick Singh is also challenging.
Andersson got through, but he was off the racetrack doing it. That could be gained as an advantage under track limits. A mistake is made by Yar, he goes wide. Singh is ahead of Karklis, so Patrick Singh is the big winner out of all of this. He's just gained 2 spots.
And suddenly, Robin Yar's podium disappears in front of his very eyes. We do have the additional lap on this race, so we have got 1 more to go for Jessica Batman. So she still needs to carry it on at the front. She's got 7.3 seconds, but we are very preoccupied by what's going on behind. Martin Andersson there with Patrick Singh behind him, and Jonas Karklis also getting stuck in.
But Singh's progress is amazing, because over the last, 4 or 5 laps, that car suddenly has woken up, and exactly what I said about Martin Andersson at turn 3, leaving the track and gaining an advantage, is now being looked at by the officials as the last lap board is made ready. Robin Yar was being forced out wide at turn 10, and there, look, the 2 Hyundais come over the timing line, absolutely dead set level. Up towards turn 1 they go on the inside line. There, look, is Rene Kircher. He goes through, and Philip Yar is kind of falling down and down and down the order now. Finally, having been cracked out of his position, he's losing place after place after place. The rhythm has gone. He does his best to fight back, look, coming up the hill, but he's going to be on the outside line for turn 3. Max Grun tries to buy into this. He's off the racetrack, and he can't find any way to get back in.
So Robin Yar, who was in such a solid podium position for so long, now dropping back through the field. Max Grun getting involved as well. He is back in the queue, just he slots in behind Robin Yar. Rene Kircher also there as well, but now Max Grun has got a sniff of a few more points. He looks to the outside of the Robin Yar car, but has to drop in behind Rene Kircher, looking to inherit a position from the Audi in front of him. But at the front, Jessica Batman is continuing continuing on our way into turn 8. We continue to look at this though. The 22 of Robin Yar, Max Grun there still. And Robin Yar will be so frustrated. Here is Jessica Bachmann. She is 7.5 seconds in front. So even with, in fact, make that 8.1 over the last timing being. With the 5-second penalty, she still crosses the line. She still wins the race. Race 1 of the weekend going to Jessica Bachmann. Simon Ladniak very much running on his own. 8.1 seconds behind, 7.6. He just winds it in at the end. Martin Anderson in P3, but remember, he is under investigation for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. So we will wait to hear from the stewards to see whether he keeps that podium or whether it's Patrick Singh who gets to stand on the 3rd step.
But if it is Patrick Singh, that's a remarkable result for somebody that was way back mid-race. So Jessica Bachmann, a very good drive, that very mature drive to overcome the penalty. The Veloster, which is an interesting shape as a road car, works well as a race car, doesn't it? And an appreciative crowd, I think, has rather enjoyed that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, almost 9th battle that we had that raged on pretty much for the entirety of the race. But Jessica Bachmann has done a really good job. And Simon Ladniak frustrated because even allowing for her penalty, he could not stay close enough.
Well, it just goes to show you don't need a full grid of cars for a good race. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And the real notable bit is the fact that it was clean. Nobody ending up in the gravel trap. There is the classification. It is Jessica Bachmann with the 5-second penalty applied, who gets the win over Simon Ladniak, still by 2.634 seconds. Martin Anderson provisionally in 3rd, ahead of Patrick Singh, Jonas Karklees, Robin Yar, Max Grun and Rene Kerscher. Roman Hertner and Kai Rosowski and Malcolm Mora rounding out the top 11. And of course, Vincent Rademacher not making it to the end because of that mechanical issue that saw him retire. So race 1 of the weekend, and it was a black and white flag that's been awarded to Martin Anderson for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Black and white flag is a warning, not a penalty, so it does look as though Martin Anderson will keep that 3rd place, so he will be mightily relieved about that. I have to say, all credit to Simon Ladniak, his best result, a P2, and that is an excellent finish for him, having picked up a 5th and a 4th at Oschersleben.
But Jessica Bachmann also deserves plaudits for coming out the right side of that penalty. It would have been easy perhaps to overdrive, to make a mistake, to overdrive and to damage the tyres, to panic about that penalty or get the red mist as a result. But no, 30 minutes certainly was doing her a favour, because that meant that she had the time in which to make amends for the penalty, and in real terms therefore won by 2.6 seconds from Simon Ladniak once that penalty was applied. Martin Anderson taking 3rd, but I suspect as he makes his way to the pit lane, Martin will be wondering where his pace went, because he never looked likely to really do much about Ladniak after the first few laps.
No, he's running very much on his own, wasn't he? I think the penalty that was applied to Jessica Bachmann was very fair. She certainly didn't gain 5 seconds with that start, but they've given her a penalty. It hasn't wrecked her race. Maybe in times gone by it would have been a drive-through which would have put her to the back, but that seems very fair to me. And Jessica Bachmann gets to keep her win. Simon Ladniak and Martin Anderson 2nd and 3rd, both for Team Engsler, the Liqui Moly. Team Engsler Hondas proving to be very rapid. It's Hyundai from Honda, and then 3 Hyundais. Max Grun in the Audi finishing in 7th place. So, looking through very artistically at the BWT water bottle as the drivers exit the car. And here comes the victorious Jessica Bachmann in the Hyundai Veloster. And congratulations to the Liqui Moly Team Engsler crew and to the drivers.
Congrats, mate.
For Simon Ladniak, good points. And that'll have done his confidence good as well, won't it? He might not have won the race, but he's running in exalted company now, and he'll know that he can deliver. Jessica Bachmann is about to clamber from the car.
And receives a round of applause for her troubles. I'm just looking back at Simon Ladniak's results.
That was amazing.
And,
how can you do that? That is amazing.
He says it's easy, I just did it. Brilliant. I was looking back at my sheets on Simon Ladniak, just seeing whether this was his best result. No, he got a second at the last event at Nürburgring last year. That was his best result. So he's yet to take a win, but this is his second visit to the podium in ADAC TCR Germany. And he'll be delighted with that. There is the updated point standings. Martin Anderson, 9 points ahead of Jessica Batman, and Jonas Karklees, 15 points adrift. Kai Rozalski, sorry, it's flipped over. Okay. He's not in fourth, is he? So that's the remaining points just flicking through on the screen.
I was slightly relieved, Jessica Batman there, because that could have all unravelled with a penalty, but getting her head down to build up that gap to compensate for it. Martin Anderson then finishing in third spot. Takes on some water, so there a big battle for much of the race with Jonas Karklees, and then a big battle at the end with Philip Singh, but Martin Anderson coming out for the last place on the podium.
So third place, Martin Anderson for Liquimoli Team Exler, the sister car of Simon Ladniak. In second place, the Honda Civic FK7 TCR to give it its full title, but crossing the line first and keeping the win for Rockwell Motorsports by ASL, the Hyundai Veloster NTCR of Jessica Bachmann. And into Parc Ferme and the congratulations of the team. Jessica Bachmann, the first driver to ever win in a Veloster in TCR Germany. Last time out at Boschisleben, repeats the feat this time around. So 2 wins out of 3 races and a 5th place. Not a bad way to start the season. And a real shame that we haven't got her brother Andrea as part of the season this year, but he's doing other things, but he is here in an advisory role. And there are the points. Martin Anderson feeling the pressure from Jessica Bachmann, 9 points, and that can go in an instant with points awarded for qualifying as well. 10 points for the pole position, and the high points awards for qualifying, meaning that it can change in the blink of an eye. Jonas Karklees is 15 points adrift in third place. The rest of the places scrolling through an entertaining afternoon from the ADAC TCR Germany as the sun goes down at the Red Bull Ring.
Yes, please.
Jessica Batman ready to take on some water after a pretty hot race inside one of these cars, and 30 minutes, as we said, gave her the time to build up the gap for the penalty, but of course also it's a very long race to maintain concentration, so mentally as much as physically demanding inside the car.
Simon Ladniak, he'll be happy with that. Yeah, he's happy. So podium presentations are about to start, and the first man out will be Martin Anderson, and just waiting for him to be announced. And entrance, stage right, Martin Anderson. Here he comes onto the podium to the applause of the team.
It was a good drive, and so too from this man, Shimon Ladniak, who takes that second place. So a 3-2 for Franz Enschler's team. But there's nothing they can do about the Hyundai and Jessica Bachmann.
Jessica Bachmann in the Veloster. What a great run from her. And Rockwell Motorsport will have a representative up as well on the side of the podium. And here he comes. Quick congratulations. And oh, you're in the wrong place, but it doesn't matter. National anthem time. So the national anthem done, and the trophies to be awarded. These are great, these trophies are. The gold Red Bull, to mix up my colours. A golden Red Bull for Jessica Backman. A silver Red Bull for Simon Ladniak. He is going to be really pleased with that result. That is a real result for Simon Ladniak. And third place, scoring more points in his championship quest, Martin Anderson with the bronze ball. And the team trophy also being presented.
Just thinking the bronze ball sounds a bit like a pub in rural England, but yes, that's Martin Anderson's reward as they all get together on the podium, photographs, and another race to come tomorrow, which is going to be, no doubt, just as lively.
So that was race 3 of this 14-race season. The second race of the weekend, race 4 of the season, will take place tomorrow afternoon. The celebration starts, and I think that team member is very much enjoying his moment.